Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Cassie. Today we're going to be talking about Ruffy and the Riverside. This is a new 3D platformer that releases tomorrow, and I was lucky enough to get a code through Pirate PR, so thank you so much. This is actually the first time that I've received a code directly sent to me and not through like Minimap or another source. So it's really cool. It feels really cool. And for pretty much anybody who knows me knows that I am pretty much a 3D platformer sicko. I love Banjo-Kazooie. I'm obsessed with Banjo-Kazooie. I've got so many plushies, so many figures. Obviously, I got a shirt on right now, which was planned, but um, I just, it was my first game that my parents got for me on my 11th birthday. I was actually having a sleepover, and my parents brought out a Nintendo 64 alongside with Banjo-Kazooie, and I left my friends in my room listening to Backstreet Boys on cassette and played Banjo-Kazooie all night long and completely forgot that my friends were still in my room. So yeah, that was it's pretty much like a, I don't know, it's not just like nostalgic for me. It's like a part of my childhood growing up, and like it's a very big part of me as, becoming a gamer. It had a whole lot to do with that. So I'm very partial to Banjo, and really sad that we just don't get any more 3D platformers anymore. So thankfully last year we got Astrobot, which really I kind of showed that like people still really like 3D platformers. And I hope that we see a lot more of this genre come back and revive itself, because a lot of these series have just been kind of buried and no longer exist, except for what they already had. So when I first saw Ruffy and the Riverside, I got really excited because it also features a bear like Banjo, except he has a sidekick that's like a bee named Pip, and he lives in the town of Riverside. Riverside is fueled by this kind of like Hollywood sign like spell out of Riverside, and each individual letter fuels the world core, which keeps everything together, keeps everything alive and safe. And while Ruffy is working at, he works for this like painter, and because he can swap objects and stuff, so he can easily like swap paintings into an easel and sell, I guess, paintings to these customers and stuff. So that's what he does. But Sir Edler comes along and tells him that these, let's see what they were called, marbles, I guess, marbles that come and are, I don't know if they're like destroying the world. It's kind of confusing a little bit, but basically there's this evil villain named Groll who kind of looks like a Rubik's cube, and and he uh, takes all the letters from the world core and distributes them throughout the land. I guess, like, well, he just kind of like throws them. And so now the world core is in danger, and Ruffy is the only one in this world of Riverside that has the ability to swap objects and materials. So basically what he'll do is you can kind of capture an image, like say a tree. You can capture the image of the tree, which represents like wood. So you can change the material from something like hay to wood or stone to wood. And so, like a crate that's stone and is changed into wood, you can now break it open. There's other things like if there's a waterfall and there's a platform up on top of the waterfall that you cannot reach, if you swap the water with vines, then you can climb the waterfall and then you can get to the top that way. And there's all sorts of like little puzzles and stuff, which like you've got symbols. There's like a section where there's doors with kind of like these domino like symbols, and what you want to do is you want to match the numbers of the dominoes. So like one side will be 4 and the next side will be 4, but you may do like 1 and 3, or you're trying to make it match. So there may be like a 3, like a symbol of a 3 off to the side, or 3 dots off to the side somewhere that you have to go find. And sometimes it's a little confusing if you don't really know what you're supposed to do, but after a while you start figuring it out. There's a lot of variety of different types of puzzles, and it's really cool because that's pretty much how you get through the world. There's a lot of collectibles and stuff that you go around. There's coins that you can collect. Um, there's uh, different. There's like little butterflies or moths that you can collect as well. Um, and a lot of the collectibles don't really do anything. I think that's kind of like one of the gripes I have with this game, is that there's a lot of collectibles that don't seem to have much of a. I don't. For like a lot of collectathons, it's kind of like just collect these things, but they don't really have any meaning or any like story behind them. Like some of them, I'm like, okay, is this a stone or a crystal, or what exactly is this? There's not really any explanation for those objects, which just as like a lore sort of thing, I think that would have been cool if that was included in this game. Now, this comes from this developer studio called Socrates Laboratories. I don't know if this is their first game or not, so I think it's a really, really well made 3D platformer, and that swap mechanic is like super unique. I I really like that. I think it's something that hasn't, at least I've never seen it used in another game before. And what's really cool too is that like the character models, the art style is kind of like Ruffy is kind of like a 2D model that looks like as if like a child drew on like a piece of paper, but that image from the paper came to life. Like he's always 2D, but in like a 3D world. And the drawings look like children's drawings that are brought into um, this world, and it's really cool. I think it's really unique in style, and there's a lot of references to other 3D platformers. I came across an Easter egg for Banjo, Crash, and Paper Mario, and Tomba. I think it's Tomba. Um, it was like hidden in this room where I had to pretty much light these candles that were like surrounding this like door that I saw. And when you lit all of the candles surrounding it, which wasn't really obvious, it was something that you had to do. It was just like, okay, this is a door. Is there something behind it? But then it opened. I went inside and it says Banjo was here. There was also like a butterfly to collect in there too on the wall, but it also had, references to those other games in there. And it put a huge smile on my face because I love Banjo so much. I like Spyro as well. That one's another really good one. But yeah, I was really happy to see that. There's a lot of really cool platforming ideas and just kind of like traversing through the world. You can jump on top of a haystack and kind of roll around, and when you jump on the hay, it starts kind of like this kind of like hip hop, kind of like reggae mix of music, and it's cool vibes. It's really cool. Like I started bobbing my head along as I was playing, and it was a lot of fun. And I really, like I said, like I really love the swap mechanic. I love puzzles and stuff. There was a section with the hay that like there's little mini games and stuff like races, and there's a part where you can you need to get first place to move along. And getting to first place took me a little bit longer than I needed to. It wasn't in a race, but it was a part where you ride on a haystack and you're kind of like on this slope, kind of like, I guess, at like a skate park sort of thing, where you're trying to do flips and tricks and get the highest score. But the other characters, the other NPCs, like, they were always beating me. Like, it was really hard to even get in second place. And then I figured out what I needed to do, and it took a long time. So I kind of took that time off of my full playthrough like time. So I think it took me. I think Steam says that it took me around 17 hours to beat this game, and I think in total it was probably maybe like 16, 15, 16. But I still had a lot of side stuff that I could do. I tried to unlock a lot of things as I went along. Like, there's all these different puzzles and stuff that you can solve where you gotta switch symbols. You may like, it's kind of hard for me to explain, but there'll be like these little, kind of like these little temple looking like signs. I don't know. These stones that have like a 3x3 set of symbols on them, and you need to, so that they'll have like dots and forward slash, backslash, hyphen, and like different types of symbols. But there'll be a drawing off to the side somewhere, hidden, and you'll need to recreate that drawing with these symbols by swapping the symbols around, capturing the symbol and doing that. So there's all sorts of different things. There's parts where there's like giant mushrooms and they're one color, and you'll see little mushrooms like kind of just all over the place, and there'll be different colors, but you want all of them to be the same color as the large mushroom. So, and you get a collectible by doing that and stuff too. All the letters are, so it spells out Riverside. Of course, there's some double letters, like you've got I, is twice, but you only need to find I once for that. So it's a total of 7 worlds, I think. I think was it 7? Yeah. That you have to go through. So there's like this big overworld, and there will be kind of like these little portals that go into these worlds where you have to like solve puzzles to get into the world, and then that world will have the letter. And usually there's like side quests and stuff that you have to do to get to the letter, or like to get rewarded the letter from like other characters. So they may have you like solve like some kind of I don't know, like clean the world that they're in, or help them out with like some task or something, and then you will receive the letter. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of this entire game, and I think it's really cool. There's still a lot of things that I can go back and kind of like go find, like different collectibles and stuff. I don't think there's really anything else. There were like some little 2D things on the wall where it's kind of like black and white, and you can jump into the 2D to like collect objects in there as well, and that was really cool. I like it when games like switch perspectives like that. I think that's really fun. I don't. Another like thing that I didn't really care too much for was the villain Grohl. Like I said, it kind of looks like a Rubik's Cube. And without getting into spoilers or anything, I'm not going to do that. I felt like he was a little underwhelming. I don't know that he was that great of a villain. It just, it didn't, like, towards the end of the game, there's, obviously there's going to be some fights and, like, going after him and, saving the world, whatever, but it kind of seemed like every time it seemed like it was, wrapping up, it continued. and continued, and I don't think that it needed to do that, and it was a little predictable, like with like who Grohl actually like was and stuff, and so I just, the story and Grohl, those were kind of like my lower points of this game, and then like some of the things that could be worked on with like the collectibles. But other than that, like I really had a really good time with this game. I think it's a solid 3D platformer, and I was really happy while I was playing it. I was vibing, um, and I think if I had to give a score on it, I would probably give it an 8 out of 10, which is great. I really enjoyed it a lot. So definitely check this out. Go wishlist it on Steam. It's actually, I believe it's coming out to all platforms. PlayStation 5, I know it's going to be on. I know it's going to be on Switch. Um, I think maybe Xbox. I could be wrong. And then also Steam, of course. So go wishlist it on your platform of choice. I think you can pre-order it right now as well. I think they're working on making a Ruffy plushie as well, which is really cool. And I will definitely be on the lookout for that because I love collecting plushies. So yeah, I definitely look into that. And thank you for watching. And I'll see you guys next time.